So I'm guessing you've heard the word DeepSeek by now over 1,000 times.
The sudden rise of a Chinese startup called DeepSeek.
Chinese outfit, DeepSeek.
DeepSeek R1.
DeepSeek R1.
Yes, DeepSeek has been all over the news, and without a question, it's had a huge impact on the financial markets. But in this video, I'm going to try my best to cut through all of the noise and explain what DeepSeek is for beginners, offer some practical advice, some use cases, and I'm also going to show you different ways that you can use DeepSeek, both online and on a device locally. So be sure to stick around for the entire video. And if this happens to be your first time to the channel, welcome. My name is Ryan, and my mission is to help you navigate the overwhelming world of artificial intelligence. And if you want to know my favorite AI tools and prompts that I'm using for marketing and content creation, be sure to get my free AI Marketing Essentials Guide. You can find the link for that in the description or pinned comment below. Now, I'd be shocked if this is the first time that you've heard about DeepSeek, but just in case, I'm going to provide a quick high-level overview. So DeepSeek is a free, open-sourced large language model, or LLM, owned and operated by a Chinese AI company. They are also backed by a Chinese hedge fund. Now, in layman's terms, you can think of DeepSeek as a free alternative or a free competitor to ChatGPT, Claude, Google Gemini, Llama, Grok, any other LLM that's floating around right now. But the big question is, well, Ryan, what makes DeepSeek so popular? Why is it trending right now versus all of the other LLMs as they come and go? Well, the answer to that, or part of the answer to that, is DeepSeek's R1 update. They had a new model announcement on January 20th called its R1 model. This is known for advanced reasoning. They released some of these benchmarks here, and I know it's hard to read and hard to understand some of these benchmark graphs, but really all this is saying is that DeepSeek's R1 model is outperforming or even on par with OpenAI's O1 model across a variety of categories. We have math, we have coding, there's some of these other benchmarks I don't really understand, but the gist of this here, and they have more information and more tables, kind of explaining what R1 is that there is a free open source advanced reasoning model that's available to the general population, whereas OpenAI, they charge for O1. O1 is only available to the premium users of ChatGPT. You have to be a member of ChatGPT Plus or ChatGPT Pro in order to get access to O1. And I'll tell you this from experience being a Plus user, your access to O1 is also very limited if you're on the $20 a month price tier. So really to get the most out of O1, you have to be on that $200 a month ChatGPT Pro subscription. Versus DeepSeek, you can come in for free and start using a model that's arguably better, if not on par, than the model that OpenAI is charging for. And I recently published a video testing DeepSeek's R1 model versus OpenAI's O1 model. And if you want to know my results of these tests, you can find this video in the description below. I'm not going to be running any tests in this specific video, but really my results were this. Now, is DeepSeek a really good model for free? Yes, absolutely. The fact that it's a free open source large language model and it's on par right there with OpenAI's O1, that right there is extraordinary. Now, is it head and shoulders above O1? I would argue no. I think it's all subjective when someone says this AI sucks or that AI is amazing. It's all subjective based on the use cases and the prompts that we're providing. So I don't think the results are conclusive. But again, OpenAI's O1 model is behind a paywall while DeepSeek's is not. So that is the big difference there between DeepSeek's R1 and OpenAI's O1. And even when it comes to the API pricing, DeepSeek's R1 is way cheaper than OpenAI's O1, O1 Mini, GPT-4o, and all of the other models that they provide. I'm going to be honest, I don't use a lot of API keys when I'm running AI models. I mostly just go straight to the different interfaces and sources themselves. But if you're building apps or if you're doing anything coding or technical related, this is a big deal. So I still want to mention this in this video that DeepSeek's models are way cheaper on an API basis versus OpenAI's. You'll see here on this page, and I'll leave this in the video description below, per 1 million tokens input price. Now, I don't understand cache hit and cache miss, but regardless, 14 cents per million token input, 28 cents per million token output. And this is for the R1 model, as they explain right here. And if we compare this to OpenAI's API pricing for the O1 model, $15 per million input, $60 per million output. Now, if we look at OpenAI O1 Mini, their less expensive model, still $3 per million input and $12 per million output. That is substantial, the difference there. And the same goes for GPT-4o. GPT-4o minis is really inexpensive. That's probably more comparables, GPT-4o mini. But again, DeepSeek R1 is way more advanced than a GPT-4o mini. Same with GPT-4. But I just wanted to show you really quickly and compare the API pricing. And I also believe DeepSeek not only exposed OpenAI, but they exposed the entire AI industry in the US. Now, I'm about to play a short video clip here of this panel from 2023 where this guy was asking Sam Altman what his thoughts are on the competition in the future for ChatGPT. So give this a listen. This is a really interesting clip here.
Truly substantial.
Look, the way this works is we're going to tell you it's totally hopeless to compete with us on training foundation models. You shouldn't try, and it's your job to, try anyway. And I believe both of those things. I think it is pretty hopeless, but...
Sam, can you just go in?
Yeah, so quite an ego there from Sam Altman, if you ask me. He says it's hopeless for anyone to try to compete with them. Well, based on the millions of users flooding to DeepSeek, clearly it is a competitor, and this aged really well because Sam Altman came on the same platform and actually tweeted the following. He said, DeepSeek's R1 is an impressive model, particularly around what they're able to deliver for the price. We will obviously deliver much better models now, and it's also legit invigorating to have a new competitor. We will pull up some releases. So it sounds like he's kind of biting his tongue there after he sounded really smug 2 years ago, saying that no one's going to compete with us. OpenAI only produces the best models, yada, yada, yada. And now he's kind of saving face here saying that, hey, we're working on something. And I think for the general population and general users of AI, I think this is great. The fact that DeepSeek came in and kind of disrupted where the trajectory of OpenAI and all these other US-based AI companies were moving, I think this is very good for people like me and you to have a DeepSeek in the mix, because now it's going to force these US AI companies to work 10 times harder and provide more value. And before I show you how to use DeepSeek, I need to mention there was another update that came out yesterday where DeepSeek dropped another open source AI model called Janus Pro 7B. This is multimodal and can generate images. So now, outside of the text outputs and the reasoning capabilities that put DeepSeek on the map in the first place, they're now getting into AI image generation. And according to these benchmarks, this Janus Pro 7B beats OpenAI's DALL-E 3 and Stable Diffusion across whatever they were testing here. I'm not technical enough to understand what GenEval or DPG Bench means, but really what these charts tell us is that there is another AI image generation model coming from DeepSeek that we need to watch out for. So when it comes to using DeepSeek, I'm going to show you 4 different ways that you can access this. And this first way is probably the easiest. All you need to do is go to deepseek.com and then you would click Start Now. And you'll see I'm already logged in, but if you don't have an account, you will need to register in order to use DeepSeek. And if I were you, I would recommend using an email that you rarely use, that's not really tied to a lot of your personal data. You could start a new Gmail account to use this. That's what I did. So just keep that in mind when you're signing up for an account. And here is the main web browser interface of DeepSeek. We have the DeepThink R1 model right here. So if you want to use this, make sure you click it and it highlights blue. They also have a search functionality similar to Search GPT on ChatGPT. So that's really cool here. And if you come down to the left, this is where we have all of the different chats. You'll see I've been using this quite a bit recently. Click here to start a new chat. You can filter the sidebar by clicking here. And you also have an option for My Profile. So if you click Settings, there's not a lot that we can modify within the settings. I'm going to talk about that as one of the limitations here towards the end of this video, but we can set our language, we can set a theme, we can customize our profile. I would not add a phone number. If it gives you the option to add a phone number, you can delete your account, view the terms of use, the privacy policy. It also has a vision capability here where we can upload files similar to what we can do on ChatGPT or Claude. But where I'm going with this is that there are not a lot of settings or customizations that we can use on the DeepSeek web browser application. But again, this is the first and probably the easiest way to start using DeepSeek. Another way you can use DeepSeek is by installing its mobile application either on your iOS device through the Apple App Store, or you can install this through the Google Play Store if you're using an Android device. Now, personally, I wouldn't recommend installing the mobile app unless maybe you're using ChatGPT already and you just find that easier. I personally like using the desktop versions of LLMs. I'm not really on my phone that much anyways, if I'm being honest. But if I'm trying to get meaningful results from a large language model like a DeepSeek or a ChatGPT, you're going to have better results, in my opinion, using the web browser version versus a mobile application. But again, if this is something you want to do, feel free to download it. Now, another way you can use DeepSeek is by visiting this website called grok.com, not Elon Musk Grok, but GROQ.com. I'll leave this in the description below so we don't get confused here. But this provides access to one of DeepSeek's models in addition to a ton of other open source models. You can start using this for free. You do have to sign in, whether through a Google account or signing up with an email address. But right here, you'll see the toggle of DeepSeek R1, Distill Llama 70B. Not really sure how that's integrating with Meta's Llama LLM, but regardless, it is a variation of DeepSeek's R1 model. You can also use one of Google's Gima models here. Meta has a bunch of Llama variations you can start using on grok.com as well. And also Mistral. You can start using Mistral on here too. But again, this is another solution. If you want to start using DeepSeek right now, go to grok.com and toggle here for DeepSeek's R1 model. Now, the last method I'm going to show you for using DeepSeek's R1 model for free is actually by installing a local LLM on your device. There are several websites out there that you can do this, but I'm going to use LM Studio. I've had probably more success with them than other ones that I've tried. And so what you want to do is come to LM Studio's website and you would download the application for whatever device you're using. So I'm using a Mac in this example, so I downloaded the LM Studio app for my Mac. And after installing LM Studio on your device, once you launch the application, your interface should look like this. Now, to find DeepSeek, all we need to do is click the Discover option on the left menu and then type in DeepSeek on the search bar right here. And there are 621 different models of DeepSeek. That's very overwhelming. We can filter this right here by best match, most likes, most downloads. But the thing to call out here is some of these are too big or too large for my device. So keep that in mind as you're looking at what variation of DeepSeek or any open source model to download on a local LLM. Make sure that it is compatible and your device can fully suit this. So this is almost 9 gigabits. This is too large for my MacBook right now. So the one I installed in this example is this DeepSeek R1 Distill Qwen 7B. This is 4.68 gigabits. So I already downloaded that on my device here. And then once it's downloaded, all you would do is click Use in New Chat. Now, unfortunately, my computer keeps crashing as I'm trying to run prompts through LM Studio and DeepSeek, so I'm not going to be able to show you this real time, but why would you want to install this locally versus going to the web browser or even on a mobile app? And there's two reasons for this. Number one, using a local LLM does not require internet access, so that can be a big benefit. And number two, typically your results are more uncensored. There's more guardrails and parameters that they set on the web version and also the mobile app version compared to downloading it on your own local LLM. You can just configure a lot more settings. You can configure a lot more in your responses. So those are a few reasons why you would want to maybe use DeepSeek on a local LLM versus going to the web browser or installing the mobile app. So those are some ways you can start using DeepSeek, but now I want to get into some of its limitations. This is not a silver bullet, regardless of what all the clickbait videos out there are telling you. Oh my God, RIP ChatGPT, here comes DeepSeek, it's taking over, right? We see these everywhere. While there might be some validity to some of these claims, DeepSeek does have its limitations. And I think the first place we need to start is its privacy policy. I'll leave this and everything else that I mentioned in the video description below. And if you scroll down under information you provide, let's look at user input here. It says when you use our services, we may collect your text or audio input, prompt, uploaded files, feedback, chat history, or other content that you provide to our models and services. Now, this is not any different than ChatGPT. It's not different than Google Gemini. It's not different than Claude, right? Or any other tech tool at that point. Once you sign those terms and conditions, you're handing over your user data. But where this gets even more concerning is it says where we store your information. The personal information we collect from you may be stored on a server located outside of the country where you live. We store the information we collect in secure servers located in the People's Republic of China. I don't know about you guys. I certainly don't trust the People's Republic of China, although I don't trust US big tech companies with my data as well. But it has to be said that there are data privacy concerns when it comes to DeepSeek. There is no way that I could make a video about DeepSeek and talk about limitations without talking about some of the data privacy issues. Now, the next limitation is the inability to add custom instructions or even upload knowledge on DeepSeek. If we float around on the main interface here, click My Profile and click Settings, there's really no way for us to come in here and customize settings. We can do this on Claude or ChatGPT. If I pull up ChatGPT, for instance, you can create custom GPTs, you can create ChatGPT projects. On Claude, you can create Claude projects, and we can set custom instructions here telling it how we want our outputs to sound, certain words and phrases to avoid. We can also upload knowledge here to better train our project or custom GPT. And even if you're on the free version of ChatGPT, you can come in here into settings and you can also personalize it with custom instructions. I don't have it up here because I use projects and custom GPTs, but you can do this on the free plan. So that has to be a limitation of DeepSeek, is we can't go in here and take the extra steps and customize our settings or even provide knowledge to improve our outputs. Now, another limitation of DeepSeek is it lacks memory. Now, what do I mean by this? If I come into DeepSeek in a new chat and just say, hey, remember this thing I mentioned in a previous chat, or remember this thing I said, it's going to reply with something that reads like this. I don't have the ability to retain memory of past interactions, so I can't recall details from previous conversations. Versus ChatGPT, you can come in here and say something that you said in a previous chat, and it has that memory capability. Yes, I remember your AI beginners bootcamp or whatever you said. It even includes the references here. And if I come up to the settings here and I click personalization, here's the memory feature. So I can turn it off or on. I can manage it. I can delete certain things that it has saved to its memory. But long story short, ChatGPT does have memory and memorizes what you're saying in previous chats, and DeepSeek does not have that ability. And lastly, another limitation from DeepSeek right now, I don't know how long this is going to keep on, but they are restricting signups. I had a lot of people contact me yesterday saying they couldn't get in here and sign up for an account. And according to this article from The Verge, it says registrations are being temporarily limited due to large-scale malicious attacks on DeepSeek services, though it's unclear how these limitations are being applied. Tinfoil hat time here. Is OpenAI or these big US AI companies maybe behind these malicious attacks? I don't know, guys. I'm just spitballing here. But that is definitely another limitation, is that it's really hard for new users to go in right now and sign up and start using DeepSeek. And on a similar note here, there are also a lot of frauds and scams associated with DeepSeek. It's all these fraudsters trying to capitalize off of DeepSeek's popularity. So DeepSeek had to tweet this. It says, to prevent any potential harm, we iterate that this is our sole official account on Twitter and X. Any accounts representing us using identical avatars are impersonations. Please stay vigilant and avoid being misled. Reminds me a lot of crypto scams, honestly, when people impersonate Bitcoin or, these big crypto influencers and try to get you somehow, some way. But long story short, those are some limitations of DeepSeek. As remember, it's not a silver bullet. So now I want to hear your thoughts about DeepSeek in the comments below, and I'll probably be making more videos related to DeepSeek, probably comparing it to other popular LLMs. But if you started using DeepSeek, do you prefer it over ChatGPT? I really want to hear your thoughts, and I appreciate you if you've made it this far into the video. I really hope you found value in what I was saying here. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification icon, but most importantly, I hope you all have a great day.